Phoebe couldn't believe what she just heard. "Mom, I don't understand. How do you mean you are not our mother? I met Gwen and Chad on the street all alone and had no other choice but to take them in. Did you find me on the street too?" Claudia shook her head and stood up. She went close to the window, staring at the abyss. It was like the past was calling out to her. "Your mother gave you to me." "Why? She didn't want me anymore?" "No, your mother was a very nice woman. She cared for everyone in the kingdom. I still remembered how she stood up for every woman when they were being cheated on in the kingdom." "Kingdom?" Phoebe asked. Claudia looked at her and said, "You come from a kingdom called Havilla. That was where you were born. What happened then? Why did I leave? Why did my mom give me to you? There was a massacre going on in the kingdom, and your mother was among the unfortunate few." Phoebe tried so hard to withhold her tears. These people were strangers to her, but why does it hurt so much? "And my father?" "Your father was a guardian of messages. He delivers messages to the people, but he did something that was against the rule of the guardians, and he had to pay for it with his life." She walked up to meet Claudia and asked, "What did he do?" Claudia looked at Phoebe and smiled. "He fell in love with your mother. Guardians falling in love with humans was a crime, but no one has control of his or her heart. We can't dictate to our hearts who to love. Their relationship was a beautiful one, but it wasn't meant to be." Flashback. 25 years ago, there was a meeting in the heavens, and a message was to be delivered to King Gardiel concerning his reign and the rules and commandments he should keep if he intends to be blessed like his fathers before him. Lion, the guardian of messages, stood up, and a scroll was given to him to give to King Gardiel. Lion collected the scroll and disappeared to Kingdom Havilla to deliver the message. He appeared in the kingdom, and everyone was waiting for his arrival. The king, his beautiful wife Elise, the maidens, the guards, and the people waited patiently for him. "This message is brought to you by the heavens, a rule you must keep if you intend to succeed the throne." He threw the scroll, and it floated in the air towards the king. King Gardiel grabbed it and read, "The kingdom is to be protected, and everyone in it. You must never shed innocent blood. You must treat everyone with equality, and the blessings of the heavens will be yours. But defile the laws, and get prepared to meet the curses of the guardians. These were the same laws your fathers kept. Now it is your turn to do the same." Lion was about to leave when his eyes caught one of the people. She was a beautiful lady with caramel skin, and her beautiful blue eyes made her noticeable. He couldn't take his eyes off her, and when their eyes met, she smiled at him. Lion, from that moment, had a soft spot for her. He came to see her even if there were no messages to give. Thea went on for 3 years until the unexplainable happened. His issue was tabled in the heavens, and the leader of the guardian of life and death, Klein, discussed his punishment. "You have defiled the laws of guardians by falling in love with a mere human. I have realized this, and that's why I have decided to give up dating the guardian of messages, want to live a normal life with the one I love." "Are you out of your sense, Lion? You are giving up being a guardian for a mere human." The guardian of wisdom, Herculec, asked, "Have you ever been in love before? You are wise, so I expect you to know this." "I do, and that's why I am letting you know that you are making a wrong decision." The quarrel went on and on as other guardians joined in. Klein called everyone to order and asked Lion, "Are you ready to pay the price?" "Yes, but give me 2 years and you can take my life," Lion answered. "As you wish. You are now dismissed from the family of the Guardians. Your death will come to you after 2 years." Lion bowed his head and disappeared to meet his love, Fiona. Reality. 3 years later was when you were born. Your father was there with you, but then he died a few hours later, and that's why you hay your father's blood running through your veins. What about my mother? She also possessed some of your father's power. It wasn't much, but she was able to create a portal that sent you and me to Earth, saving us from the ruthless king. Why did the king desire to kill them? When he noticed that Lion defiled the laws of the Guardians and your mother had some of his powers, he felt within himself that they were going to be threats. How? Your father wasn't the only Guardian who defiled the laws. Other Guardians before him did. So there were more people with the Guardian's blood running through their veins. Exactly. He felt they were a curse, and he decided to eradicate and wipe them off the earth, which he did. If Guardians could defile the laws, who was he not to, right? Phoebe had no idea who this king was, but she hated him so much. No one deserves to die. No one. Havila will never be my home. This is my home right here with you, Gwen and Chad. I know. Claudia pulls her and hugs her. But one day you might have to leave to your home. I'd never go there. I'd rather die here, Mom. Claudia smiles. Let's go prepare food for your siblings to come back. I am starving after the long talk. Gwen said she left some food for you. I will prepare the meal. You can enjoy yours. Okay, but make sure not to add plenty of salt. Phoebe laughed. Come on, Mom. You know Elle cook better than Gwen and Chad put together. I know. Elle was just teasing you, Claudia said, and they went to the kitchen. In the Euphrates Kingdom, Prince Zod was discussing with his father how he intended to go to Havila in the next couple of days. Although his father was against it and commanded that he should be patient till Prince Edward comes back with the girl, but Prince Zod refuses to listen to his father. I need to create fear in the land. That way it will be easy for us to get the girl, he answered his father. We are breaking the deal. No. Why? Because their lives are in our hands, which means we have the upper hand. There is nothing to be afraid of, father. I know exactly what I am doing. All right, then, do as you please. I will send a message for them to announce your arrival. Get all you need for the journey. I will do that immediately, father. And he left to get prepared for his journey. Hello, Mrs. Putin, Gwen greeted the lady in charge of the house. It's nice to see you again. I thought you won't visit again. We've been busy, Chad answered. That's understandable. Where's my warrior? Mrs. Putin asked, looking around for Phoebe. She is at home with Mom. She will come visiting next time, Gwen told her. Okay, so how can I help you? Are you two moving out of the house? Gwen laughed nervously. No, we are not the ones in need of a house but them. She pointed to Lucas and Edward. Young men, nice to meet you. Elle am Mrs. Putin. She stretched her hand for a handshake. Elle, Damien. Lucas shook her hand. Eric. Prince Edward shook her hand too. Well, I will let you two check out the apartment and let me cow if there's anything you'd like to be done to it, or if you'd like another place. Lucas whispered into Prince Edward's ear, and after much debating, they finally agreed to take the house. They wouldn't be spending enough time here, so the house doesn't need to be perfect. We will take the house, Lucas answered the lady. Chad and Gwen were shocked. Don't you want to take a look at it first? Gwen asked. The house looks amazing, or is it haunted by any chance? Prince Edward asked the lady, but she shook her head. Then we will take it. Lucas paid the woman, and the keys were given to them. Are you sure? Gwen asked again. Absolutely, Lucas answered. Okay, we will be on our way home now, or would you like to come with us? Prince Edward looked at Lucas to remind him that they need to go. I'm search of the amulet. Lucas understood the look, so he told them no. Perhaps when we are settled in, we will come to visit. Okay, enjoy your new home. She bade them goodbye while Chad glared at them and signaled to them that his eyes are watching them. After they had gone, the two of them rested on the sofa. So where do we find the amulet? Lucas asked. We will find it where we lost it, Prince Edward answered. Let's go then. They stood up and left the house. Gwen and Chad got home, but were surprised to see that Phoebe wasn't home. It was only Claudia in the kitchen. We are back, Mom. Chad rushed to meet her while hugging her from behind. I think you are forgetting you are getting old. Gwen reminded him, but Chad stuck out his tongue at her. He is still my baby. Thanks, Mom. He pecked her cheek. Now, where's Phoebe? I told her to get some things for me at the grocery store. How was the house? I think they are dumb, Chad answered. Don't call them that, Gwen warned. I will call them whatever I think they are. That's being rude, and Mom has warned us severally about that. Claudia noticed the tension in the air, and she had to cut in. Hold your horses. What is the clamoring about? They refuse to check out the house before paying for it, Gwen answered. And that's why I call them dumb. Just because you hate them doesn't give you the right to talk about them like that. I see you are already head over heels in love with them. Which one are you interested in? Or is it both? Stop, the both of you. Claudia shouted at them, and they became silent. Chad, I have warned you not to talk about people like that. But Claudia held her hand up, and he swallowed back his words immediately. Now apologize to your sister. Chad looked at Gwen and apologized. Good. I don't want to hear any more about you guys. Hear any more about you guys fighting over those guys. Am I understood? Yes, Mom. Claudia looked at the both of them before going back to what she was doing while Chad and Gwen went to their rooms. Phoebe went to the grocery store, and on her way back she saw something that caught her attention. She moves closer to the place, and the young boy looked at her and asked, What would you like? Phoebe pointed to an amulet. $50, and it's yours. Can I have a look at it first? She asked the boy, but he shook his head. Pay me, and you get it. The young boy answered. Can I pay you $10? Phoebe asked, but the young rolled his eyes at her while gesturing for other customs to come. 20? But still no response from him. Everyone wants it, but no one wants to pay the price. He took it off the selling board and kept it inside his drawer. Is no longer for sale. 30? Get lost already, lady. Phoebe. She heard a voice call them. She turned, and she saw Lucas and Prince Edward. Eric, Damien, what are you doing here? What about your search for the house? We bought the apartment close to your house. Why are you here? Lucas asked. I came to buy some groceries, but then I saw something that caught my attention, and I decided to check it out. He isn't willing to sell it. How much? $50, and I don't have that amount of money on me now. Can we see it? Lucas asked the boy, but he told them it was off the selling chart for today. Don't worry, we will try again tomorrow. What was it exactly? An amulet, Phoebe answered, and Lucas and Prince Edward's eyes widened in shock. If it were the amulet they were looking for, then they need to be the ones to buy it, not her. We will try again tomorrow, Lucas assured. I guess I have to run home now. See you guys around. She ran home. Can we see it? Prince Edward asked the boy, but he was adamant. I told you to try again tomorrow. The prince wanted to pressurize him, but Lucas told him it was best if they tried again tomorrow. Besides, they weren't sure it was the same amulet. We will be here first thing tomorrow morning, Prince Edward told him. Make sure to bring a lot of money, too. Lucas pulled the prince because he saw how angry he was, and he could tell what he would do to the boy. All they need to do is come tomorrow and find out if the amulet is the one they are looking for or not. Phoebe arrived home with the groceries, and she apologized. I are coming late. I thought something bad had happened to you, Gwen told her while holding her shoulders. How was the experience like? Phoebe looked at her and said, This isn't my first time going out alone. Mom just doesn't allow me. She handed Claudia the things she bought. She looked around, but there was no sign of Chad, so she asked, Where is Chad? He went out to see his girlfriend, replied Gwen with a smirk on her face. Phoebe knew she was joking. If Chad had a girlfriend, she'd be the first to know, not Gwen. She turned to face Mom and said, "Is he upstairs, sleeping?" she asked. Claudia smiled and nodded. They started cooking when Phoebe told her mom about the amulet she saw. "Lest I forget," she paused with the tomatoes she was cutting, and everyone stopped what they were doing to pay attention to her. "When I was coming back from the grocery store, I passed by that little marketplace down the street and saw something that caught my attention." "What was that?" Gwen asked. "I saw an amulet similar to my amulet," she answered before bringing out her amulet. "I tried to buy it, but the seller was just so adamant." "What do you expect?" "That your amulet is the only amulet in the world?" Gwen asked before going back to her cooking. "Actually, yes," Claudia started. "Her amulet is a rare one, and the fact that there is another one like hers in this world means something." Gwen stopped what she was doing to look at Claudia. "What do you mean?" "We need to get that amulet," Claudia answered. "I told him I will come by tomorrow." "We will leave first thing tomorrow morning. That amulet mustn't fall into the wrong hands." "It's just an amulet." "No, it's not just any amulet, but a powerful one," Claudia explained. She looked at Phoebe, and Phoebe understood what she meant. "Tomorrow morning we are getting the amulet." Phoebe nodded, and they all continued to cook. "What's the plan?" Lucas asked. "We have seen the amulet. All we need to do is get it." "But how?" Prince Edward asked. "What do you mean, but how?" "We go there first thing in the morning and get the amulet. Phoebe would also come by, and then the boy will tell her that we came to buy it, and what do you think will happen then?" "Nothing is going to happen. It's not like she knows what the amulet is used for, or the power attached to it. We will go to the market first thing tomorrow morning." Prince Edward sighed. Lucas was right. Phoebe doesn't know anything about the amulet, but what if she starts asking weird questions? He tried to weigh it, and he wasn't sure it was a wise decision to make. "The more I think about it, the riskier I feel it is." "Then don't think about it," Lucas told him. "Just don't think about it. If you won't go, I will. This is my mission too. Then prove it." It took a while before Prince Edward agreed to it. "Fine, we will leave first thing tomorrow morning." "That's the prince, I know. But if this goes wrong, I am blaming you for it." "Deal." The following morning, the prince and Edward left the house for the marketplace, but arriving there, they saw Claudia, Phoebe, Gwen, and Chad. "What are they all doing here?" Prince Edward asked. "Probably came to assist Phoebe," Lucas replied. "Let's go." "Where is the amulet?" Claudia asked the boy. "I told you already that I sold it." "Sold what?" Lucas asked. "The amulet. I sold to someone who paid a bigger sum of money that I couldn't refuse." Gwen looked at the boy angrily. "How old are you?" 8. 12. "How can a little boy like you like money so much?" "Business is not about age, and it's my business. I can sell to whomsoever I want." "There's something called trust in business," Gwen told him. The boy smiled and said, "I don't intend to build on that." He brought out the goods he was ready to put out for sale and said, "If you will excuse me, I have things to sell and money to earn." "Fine. Tell us who you sold it to," Prince said, but the boy shook his head. "I don't give out the details of my customers. At first, they thought they were dealing with a young boy, but now they figured they were dealing with a full-grown man." Prince Edward had no choice but to spill out the truth. "Listen, if that amulet gets into the wrong hands, it's—" "I don't care. Besides, it's an amulet. Nothing special about it." Prince Edward was about to argue, but Lucas stopped him. "Eric, that's enough." Claudia and Phoebe looked at each other. If Prince Edward knew about the amulet, then it must mean something, but what? They decided to leave since it was no use convincing the boy, but Claudia stopped them. Chad, take Phoebe and Gwen home. I would like to have a word with Eric and Damien. Yes, Mother. Chad and his two sisters left. Is anything the problem? Lucas asked. Not at all, but want to know more about the amulet. You said if it gets into the wrong hands, it's dangerous. Why? Lucas looked at Prince Edward. He was waiting for a sign of whether or not he should tell her. Prince Edward nodded, and Lucas told her about it. Our names aren't Eric and Damien. Lucas started, and Claudia was shocked. We have never met your daughter before, he confided. So, who are you guys? My name is Lucas, and he is Prince Edward. We come from a kingdom called Havila. Right now, our kingdom is in a dark state, and only the amulet can help us out. How? Claudia asked. It will help us find the person whom the Guardians spoke about. She was said to have an amulet similar to the one we had, Prince Edward added. Claudia was shocked. If they were from Havila, that means they are here to take Phoebe and kill her too. I won't let you guys take her away from me. She looked at the prince, and all she could see was his father. Mrs. Claudia, Lucas called, waving his hands in front of her. After regaining herself from the shock, she smiled. I hope you find the amulet and the girl. I have to go home now. She left. Do you think she's angry at us for lying to her? Lucas asked. I think she's shocked. Let's try our luck with the seller again. They both went to meet the seller to try out their luck.
To be continued. Don't forget to follow us for more.